It only takes 3 weeks to rewire your mind. Once a week, you would implement 5 new steps. Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Kat Severi. I wanted to introduce you today to 5 probable steps to change. And I called it 5 probable steps because really there is no health program out there that will guarantee that you will change. You can empower yourself to become stronger, healthier, and so that you can tackle any issues that may arise for you in your life. The probability that someone follows through with a program and succeeds in changing their life permanently and reaching their goals permanently, it is a very low probability that people will actually implement programs, whether it's nutritional or fitness programs, and be successful. It goes back to our mental processes and how we think about our behaviors. Because in order to become the best that we can be, we really have to train our minds. We can have years of understanding of the science behind health, and yet if our minds remain the same, we remain in the same problematic behaviors. It is wrapping the mind around why we do the behavior. That's where we really begin to see changes to really accomplish our goals. And we need to do this because it is only with this mind rewiring we can successfully change our behaviors. It only takes 3 weeks to rewire your mind. Now, of course, in that 3 weeks, once a week, you would implement 5 new steps to begin to rewire the way you think about things. And when I say think about things, I'm going to bring your awareness to the analyzation of your thoughts. This is very important. Our building awareness is the only way that we truly begin to recognize the dysfunctional patterns that lead to our dysfunctional behaviors. So this is week 1, and I wanted to invite you to go to my website, yogamindenergybody.com, for a printable version of the 15 steps, because this program takes 3 weeks, 5 steps per week, 3 times 5 is 15. Go to my website, you'll see that breakdown of the 15 steps, which you can print from there. You're never too old to begin to change your own mind. No one is going to do it for you. So step 1 is knowing that change is possible. So I do encourage people to write this down because, like any mantra that we wish to remember, we need to write things down so that they are in our field of vision every day. So change is possible. Really wrap your mind around the fact that we all have challenges and we all have behaviors that we want to change. To rewire the brain is possible, something that everybody has the ability to do and really has the right to do. Whether you are trying to change your diet or your activity level, know that small steps are best. So we can take off tiny little bites, pun intended, to make these small changes in our lives so that week after week, as we begin to implement changes, the idea about changing becomes less frightening, less intimidating, and then we begin to be enthusiastic about the next change we wish to implement in our life. I know firsthand, everything that I teach here is firsthand knowledge about how I myself have changed my own life using these mind rewiring practices, whether it was being in a dysfunctional relationship or wanting to eat healthier or even budgeting to save money. Small changes are acceptable and lead to greater goal activation and reaching our highest potential. Don't be worried about taking small bites of the next big change. I don't think there's anything wrong with completely correcting a behavior or getting rid of some aspect of your life that no longer works. So, if that is your way, please, by all means, go cold turkey. But just know, if change is intimidating to you, that small steps are perfectly acceptable. to the entire 15-step program. And it is that awareness I spoke of earlier. It is the understanding that thoughts often feel like they are a part of us, but thoughts aren't necessarily something that you have to identify with. What you do have to identify with is the fact that you are having those thoughts and that you can also change those thoughts. We don't necessarily need to change them on week 1, but we do need to become aware of them. Are my thoughts creating positive feelings, motivation, inspiration? Just begin to notice when thoughts take you down the rabbit hole of negative thought patterns or cycles, judging yourself or judging others. So just become aware, and you'll begin to notice how often you are thinking negatively in your life throughout your day versus the positive thought patterns. So just notice, this is week 1, small steps, just become aware of those thoughts. We're going to move on to step 4 now, comparisons. Whether it is you feeling like others are better than you or are achieving things that you have not yet achieved, or you feel that you are better than others. That is not positive. That is feeding what we call the ego mind or the egoic mind, and we don't ever want to be feeding something that is inherently unhealthy. So we are becoming aware of our thoughts, and we are becoming aware that we don't necessarily want to compare ourselves to others. We are individuals. We are unique, and our upbringings, our life experiences, our weaknesses, and our strengths are all very different than anybody else. And our last step this week, number 5 in 5 probable steps to change. This is the first 5 out of 15 different steps. Committing to change. Commitment takes discipline. I mean, it may be that you don't feel that you have the discipline. And I would not dissuade you from doing the full 15 steps or the 3 weeks of the program. However, I will say that I know, one, as a health coach and someone who has worked with people for many years in trying to help them to improve their own health, because that's what health coaches do, simply assist them in reaching their goals themselves. And as a health coach, even as a yoga teacher, if someone does not have discipline, the discipline to commit to a program, they fail, and they usually fail fairly quickly. So be honest with yourself. Are you willing to commit to a long-term, a lifelong rewiring of your brain so that you can empower yourself to become stronger, healthier, and so that you can tackle any issues that may arise for you in your life? We all sometimes fall victim to, yes, negative thought processes, but also to life circumstances which are not ideal. When I began to rewire my mind and began to think about things differently, I started to consider that when something felt as though it came out of nowhere and it wasn't leading to the best outcomes, that once I thought about that differently, once I changed my perspective, I began to recognize that sometimes things that we don't think are ideal actually lead us to better outcomes than where we originally were. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that. Sometimes circumstances in our life, even death, even lost love, broken hearts, even financial disasters, can sometimes, if we think about these things differently, can lead us to better outcomes than where we were before that circumstance happened. So really think about this. Can you commit to change so that you can begin to feel stronger, more self-empowered, and tackle the behavior changes that will lead to your best health outcomes? If you're on a weight loss journey, can you commit to the change that will lead you to bring balance into your life, your best life? That is what I'm here for as a health counselor, as a nutrition coach.